So now when we were at the Ted Cruz event right before the Nevada caucus last Monday in Las Vegas, we were in Summerlin, just about 10, 15 minutes northwest of the Strip in Las Vegas. And Glenn Beck opened, right? So he introduces Ted Cruz, and he does this story about George Washington and the Don Quixote book. On the day the Constitution was signed, George Washington wrote in his diary that he signed the Constitution and then went and bought a copy, his own personal copy of Don Quixote. Don Quixote, right? So he holds the book up, and then this is the book. Well, it comes out that's not the book. They debunked it. The real book is in a museum. Of course. So when he got called out by the Huffington Post, Glenn Beck then said, well, if the Huffington Post would have done their research, they would have found that this is actually from George Washington's library. Yeah, it might be a book, might be a Don Quixote that happened to get it, but it wasn't that one he bought that day. So again, Beck caught lying, but here he is. And it's weird to watch him, and he knows he's lying when he shows it and he holds it around. He knows that it's not the real copy. It's not George Washington's copy of the Don Quixote he bought that day. So here he is, backstage. Richard Dreyfus, for some reason, is backstage with Glenn Beck. I'm not kidding. And here he is. It's very hard to hear, but I want to show you very briefly. Just watch how happy Glenn Beck is, how proud he is to be pulling the wool over these people's eyes. Ready? Watch.
Washington's copy of Don Quixote that he picked up. Yeah.
So they asked him, they go, are you kidding? And he's like, yeah, look at that. You can see the book in his hand. Can you see the book in his hand right here? Can they see that? Yeah. So, and you see the, oh yeah. I want to back it up just a little bit more so we can see him do the oh yeah again. Look at that. Look at that look on his face. Are you kidding? So then he puts that down and he picks up something else, which I'm sure is also fake.
This is his compass.
That's his compass.
He got this at 14. And
so that's George Washington's compass, and he had it at 14. And watch, he shows it off like he's on the shopping club. Did you see this? Watch how he shows it off. This is great.
At 14, and he had it his whole life. But if you feel it in your hand.
So that's awesome. He said now he has George Washington's compass, and he wants people to hold and feel where the part of the compass was worn down from Washington's own thumb. This is what he's doing. Watch this.
But if you feel it in your hand, you feel it right. Put your thumb right here at the top. Do you feel the fingerprint? Do you feel the rub mark? Maybe it's on the other side. Yeah. Isn't that wild? That's Washington's compass. So he had that everywhere he went.
So this is that idolatry. This is that hero worship. Isn't that wild? That's where his thumb was. It's like, look, I got a sliver from the cross where Jesus was hung. I got a real piece of the thing. It's like it's some kind of mystical, magical. And the founding fathers were great. They all had a lot of flaws. Very flawed. They're just, human beings like everyone else who had an idea about democracy. So a lot of them slave owners. And now here's Richard Dreyfus and there's Frank Luntz, right? First of all, it looks good. And then here's Richard Dreyfus.
I'm trying to figure out a way to grab it and get out there.
So that was it. That was them showing, Glenn Beck showing the Don Quixote, which is not the original copy like he told everybody. It's not the one that Washington bought that day. He's completely making it up to try to get people to go, wow, which they did. And then he brings out the compass. And people, I could touch this. I don't know. To me, it all seems, a little bit silly.